Okay, we're gonna start with a warm-up for your full body workout. So just starting with some squats. We have our feet about hip to shoulder width apart, keeping the chest lifted. We're gonna sink the hips down and back. You can also place a chair behind you if you find this motion hard. So hips go down and back. We want to try to keep those heels on the floor and chest lifted, spine nice and long. So again, if you have a chair behind you, you can just kind of sink back, tap your bum and stand up. Then we've got a reverse fly. So I have my hands in a fist with my thumbs pointing up, and I'm just bringing my arms up, squeezing in between my shoulder blades, and then slowly bringing the arms down. I'm folded forward about 45 degrees for this. And then I'm going to take turns stepping back into a nice long reverse lunge, tucking the hips forward for a nice hip flexor stretch. You can always hold on to something if you need to for balance as well. And just take these nice and slow. So stepping back, sinking that back knee down, and then switching legs. And then I'm folding forward at the hips and pulling the elbows down, squeezing the back, and then standing up and bringing my arms down. So fold, pull, reach, and stand. So our first exercise of the circuit is a squat. I have my dumbbells racked, which means they're up at my shoulders. So the heavier the weights, the harder these will be. So you can go heavier on the weights, you can go lighter on the weights, or you can choose to do body weight. So notice how I'm sinking my hips back and down. My chest is staying lifted, and then I'm just standing up nice and tall in between. I'm not trying to push my hips forward or anything like that. So the lower you get on those squats and the heavier the weights, the harder this will be. So you can also choose to do body weight squats and just limit your range of motion so you're not sinking down as far. The second exercise is a plank row. So we are down in a plank, taking turns rowing, squeezing the back, trying to keep the bum tucked. And the wider the feet, the more stability you'll have. So you can do that down on the ground. You can also try this from an incline if you need to, which will take a little bit of pressure off the wrists, or you can hold a plank on the floor from the toes or the knees. Third exercise is alternating surrenders. So what we're going to do is hold one dumbbell, or you can hold them in the rack position. You're going to come down onto both knees and then stand up nice and tall, and then switch that leading leg, coming down on the other side and back up. If that's too hard on your knees, you can go into alternating step-ups. So the higher the bench or step or chair and the heavier the weights, the harder those step-ups are going to be. So you would just alternate legs for those. And then we're going to finish with bicep curls. So palms are facing forward, elbows are kept tucked in at the sides, right under the shoulders. We're going to curl the weights up, squeezing the arm, and then lowering all the way down, pausing at the bottom, and then curling again. So being mindful that we're controlling the weights, we're not swinging the weights, and that we have our core engaged the whole time. So once you're done, as many rounds as you are doing, you can see the instructions for more details on that. Your finisher, which is optional, is a weighted wall sit to failure. So holding the weight or having it on your thighs, just holding that wall sit as long as you can. And then here are just some recommended stretches. So stretching out the quads, bringing the foot back, pressing that knee down towards the floor, holding onto something if you need to. Hold for about 30 seconds each or longer, and just make sure you do both sides. Then we're just going to stretch out the back. So clasping the hands together, rounding the back, tuck the chin. And then we'll reverse that, reach up nice and tall. You can go into a side body stretch. So reaching up, 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 and then taking it over to the side. Again, make sure you do both sides. And then stretching out the wrists and the forearms, just pressing that palm away from you. You might feel that in the biceps as well. And then you can always add on any other stretches you like. I always like to do a glute stretch or a hip stretch. So I usually add in figure 4, which you can do seated like I am here, or you can lay down. And feel free to add in any other stretches you like.